Meltdown Comics Hollywood, and we are live on Kickstarter right now. And we're going to show you that this is something that is roughly the size of a comic book. This is probably what you would use for a comic book.
Put the comic book on here. You can see the comic book fits inside the. That's about the right size. So if you wanted to frame a comic book, you'd have to get this huge frame. You would have to mat the frame. And then you would have to put the comic in there. And the mat is going to cover up edges of the comic. You might not see the number or the price, the date that it came out, any of the cool little stuff on the edge of the comic book. Frameless is seamless. There are no edges to Frameless whatsoever.
There's no frame.
There's no frame.
There's no frame. And what's nice too is you put this in the scale and you see that there's almost no weight added to the scale. You put, and I love you, Sailor Moon, but you put her to the scale. And
it's not Sailor Moon, it's the frame.
Oh, yeah, that's, Sailor Moon is paper thin on there.
Don't you just Sailor Moon
needs to go on a diet.
Her framing tips the scale. And that's unacceptable in my opinion.
She's just big framed.
She's just big framed. This is something similar to what would be for an 11 by 17, and even this is still, you're adding a lot of weight and
so much weight.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, shipping on that is going to be more expensive. If you're buying that online, chances are the glass is going to get broken. The glass doesn't get broken.
We actually have that on video.
Yeah,
we
it's
ordered
in the
some
Kickstarter
frames.
video.
We ordered frames specifically just to put on the wall so we could have some frames next to some frameless, and they showed up with shattered glass. Half of them were shattered.
So of course we had to film them to prove that this is the problem that people have when you order frames online, especially in bulk. It's hard to protect the glass from breaking. In shipment, it's plastic. You can't. And
I don't know about you, but I feel like I've just about John McClaned my hands up, trying to move.
Yeah, and then the tiny dust shards, not okay.
Big huge things that have like I got these box of frames and they come out and it's just shattered glass. It's unacceptable.
Unacceptable. So the other option is to go to a framing store locally, which we've all done, or we've gone to small mom and pop shops that do framing. And they're prohibitively expensive. If you want to frame a comic book, you want a nice frame that's going to not cover up the edges, a mat that's not going to cover up the edges, that's going to cost you 10, 12, 20 times more than the comic book itself. And I mean, I'm not trying to say that we're cheap, but I am trying to say that not every comic book is Superman #1.
We're not a cheap date. We're in an expensive date.
That's right. Well worth the value.
Well worth the value that we'll provide in the long run.
And the frameless kit start at $12. This is the comic book kit right here. This starts at $12. You get the horizontal and the vertical spine. There's 4 pieces right there. You get the center spine lock. There's 2 pieces of those. Those locked together. You get the wall mount. This is actually our newest version of it. We've gone through 7 different versions of prototyping to get this to where it needed to be, and this is the version that just works beautifully. Everything about it is awesome. It is as close to the wall as we possibly get it. We have the bracket pieces. We're doing the Kickstarter because we really want to do all these extra things for Kickstarter for Frameless, and we can't do that unless we start somewhere. So this is going to get you the comic book kit. It's going to get you 11 by 17. Our stretch goals are going to get you the bracket pieces. This is the double bracket piece. We've got the half bracket piece right here. We have full bracket pieces, and those are going to give you 8 levels of depth, because that's one thing that Frameless we're really proud about, is that with Frameless, because of the way it's designed, you can collage your kits. You can have them in front of you, can have them behind that. You can have 8 levels of depth, and it's going to let you pretty much do just about anything you want to with your art.
Yeah, collaging the kits art with your art.
we like to layer and collage things over one another, create images you never thought you'd see. One of the hardest parts about collecting art prints and comics for me is I don't have enough wall space, and if I wanted to collage stuff, I've got to use methods that damage the material, like tacks and tape and putty. So we worked really hard to create a system that not only allows you to collage things, but then creates as small a footprint on the wall as possible. So
you can put more art on the wall.
Version after version after version. Can I get the wall mount, please?
Yeah. The wall mount right here.
So we went through many versions of this wall mount. This wall mount, as you see, has 2 nail holes on it. On either side of the frameless. Those 2 nail holes stabilize this and keep it flush against the wall forever. These things are so strong. I don't want anyone to try this at home, but I actually put some bunch of string wrapped around it, and I held onto it, and I picked myself up off the ground. I weigh 240 pounds, and this thing held me off the ground in drywall.
I actually didn't know that.
This just did.
You just did this in my house?
I did.
Good thing you didn't tell me first.
It was only for a second.
Well, you know what? Yeah. I guess that means I designed it well. What you were saying about ruining ruining it is important because when I was growing up, I used to have a lot of posters and I used to have a lot of movie stills on the wall, and I had a very complex system of tacks and mounting putty. And for the stills, I would have a mounting putty at like 4 points behind like each side, and then I would do tacks in the corners to keep it from falling off. If I didn't, then it was going to peel off and roll, especially in Vegas. In Vegas, everything is really hot, so once the summertime hits, everything's falling off. For the posters, there was no way around it. I had to put tacks into the posters. And unless I was putting like 8 tacks on my posters, they were falling off. Every day that I would come home, I'd have another poster that was rolled over, the corner was torn, something like that. And I'm lying on my couch, I'm taking a nap, he's crying for that. And I don't have any of my old posters anymore. I used to have a Revenge of the Jedi poster, if any of you guys know how hard that is to find. And that doesn't exist anymore in my
And
house.
the reason it doesn't exist is because there were inferior methods of mounting your posters. Nobody buys posters to put them in their closet when they're a teenager and put them away forever. You buy a poster because you want to look at it every single day.
And so what happened was I'm lying on my couch and I had this idea. So I started designing the idea, and I needed to actually do the 3D prototyping for it, but I didn't know how to do 3D design. And I talked to some people and got a few good ideas and taught myself 3D CAD software.
Yeah, in a day, guys. Like, he taught himself the software in a day and designed 6 pieces. So
it was a long day.
You know, it might have been a long day, but you taught yourself a software that was supposed to take 3 months if you were going to be teaching it to yourself to learn. So you did this in a day.
Okay.
And now we've gone through 7 like
Try to
versions.
be humble, guys.
That's impossible.
You're so humble. But
So-
like, we've gone through 7 versions of this, and this is our most, polished prototype that we have.
We're right now. These are all 3D printed. The Kickstarter is to raise money for the injection molds. I did the precision in these parts is so detailed that I cannot use traditional 3D printers. I have to go industrial quality. This comic book kit right here, along with this wall mount, is $35 if I were to just to get them 3D printed.
Yeah.
Which means
$35 in 2-week turnaround time.
On
2 to 3 weeks
average.
turnaround time to actually get them produced.
And the standard rule of thumb for
That's just
business
one.
is of how much you need to charge. I would have to charge you guys $150 for this, and that's not happening.
Yeah, that's
so
not okay.
the Kickstarter is to get the injection molds done for this. I don't think we ever had anything fall off the wall when we were
We
doing
never,
this.
none of these units, none of our wall mounts have ever failed, and
Yo,
none of our
even the
units
first
have ever pulled
prototypes,
off the
they
wall.
held themselves up on the wall.
I purposely broke one bracket too. I purposely broke one just to see how long it would take, and I had to use pliers, and I had to pry off at a very specific angle.
And that's 3D printed, which is somewhere around the third of
so
the,
they're
a third of the
they are
strength
strong.
of
They are
Yeah,
the final
really
injection molded
strong.
product. But it's worth noting that the first version of this that he designed worked perfectly. It hung on the wall, it hung what you wanted to hang, but it was a little bit big, it was a little bit bulky.
Yeah.
Every other version has shaved the size of this down, shaved weight off of it, shaved thickness off of it, and now that we're on the 7th version, if I can see these, you can plug these brackets anywhere into the spine. Now the brackets are a stretch goal, unfortunately, but they are. You can plug them anywhere that you want, and once they're in the wall, they hold that comic straight off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to mount it at the top, mount it at the bottom. You don't have to brace it anywhere. This holds it flush
It was really important for
at
me
any depth you want.
to get the weight down, to
Yeah.
get the thickness to the wall down. Originally, I think it was at about 12 millimeters off the wall, which really is not that far off the wall when you think about a standard frame. But I wanted it down even further. I got it down to 8 millimeters. What I call flush to the wall, the first level of depth is 8 millimeters. The half bracket adds another 8. The full bracket adds 16 millimeters, and the double bracket adds 32 millimeters. And what these pieces do is they allow you to have 8 levels of collaging, 8 levels of depth.
Yeah.
And we wanted to give this to you, but at the same time, we wanted to make sure that it was small enough that it could be packaged in a tube,
Yeah.
Yeah.
light enough that it didn't increase the cost of shipping, and strong enough that you could hang anything you wanted for it. This is the best system for mounting posters and comic books and
On
art
the
prints.
And I mean, this is
Period.
we're-
Like, there's nothing out there right now
guys,
that's like this.
space age engineering. Space age.
Age materials.
I mean,
PETG
I'm not
plastic.
saying I flew to space to do the stuff on my computer, but it's space age. I mean, 3D printed stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's this, and industrial quality 3D printed. My first design of this was taking my old Legos and putting them together and just making sure that everything would fit before I even started going the 3D printing route. And you know, I wanted to create something that would allow you to show off art the way it was naturally created. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of artists, they intend for their art to not have anything covering the corners, not have anything covering it.
Or they just don't think about it.
Yeah.
They just make something beautiful, and you want it, and you want to see the whole thing. And not only do you not want to cover up the edges, but maybe you don't want to see a mat around it. Maybe you don't want to see a frame. Or if you do want to see a frame, how do you find the right one?
Yeah.
Exactly. How are you supposed?
You got to take
how are
your
you
art
supposed to
there.
pick?
You got to measure it out, and if it's an awkward size, there's a few websites on there that have really awkward sizes. You know, that's why we're doing this Kickstarter. Click the link below. Go to our Kickstarter right now. You know, start taking a look at the packages because we got some really cool stuff. It starts at $12 for the comic book size. You'll get one kit. We'll send that out to you.
Yeah. One full kit comes with the sleeve, the 4 spine pieces, the center spine lock, and then the wall mount.
And what's nice about this is the kit comes apart so easily that you can swap your comics out on the fly whenever you want. You can pop a couple pieces off.
You know, you're getting 9
You can
pieces
open it
of
up.
quality
You
engineering
can slip your comic
for
book out just like
$12.
that. You can put a new one in if you want. You can close it, fit that right back in there, snap it into place, put that center spine lock, and it's right back on your wall. So if you have 100 comics that you want to show on your wall and you're in a dorm and you have space for 3 comics or 4 comics, you can get these and you can swap them out whenever you want to, every single day. Every month that a new comic comes in for Spider-Man or X-Men or Buffy, you can do that. You can swap it out.
So you get all of this. You get the ability to mount it to your wall, but you also get a little bit of UV protection, which is nice. I mean, we don't necessarily want to claim this will protect it from UV. Just keep it out of sunlight. But at the same time, people are paying
that much.
Don't
stick it on your porch.
People are paying twice that much just to get a protective sleeve for their comic and then put that comic in storage. Not even display it, just have a protective sleeve and put it in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to let you mount it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just
for
say
everyone to see all the awesome stuff that you have.
Let's just
because
say
you want
you
to
have
brag
a-
about it, right?
You have 11 by 17s that have spaces, or let's just say you have this right here, and you have an 11 by 17, and it's got spots for a comic book, the dialogue things. You can use
Dialogue bubbles.
Dialogue
Dialogue
bubbles. You can
bubbles,
use dry erase markers, you know, and actually fill that in and wipe them off with your finger. Fill it in, wipe it off.
If your kid likes to color on your comic books, I have a nephew who likes to color on my comic
Seriously?
books. I can put a comic book inside this and let them color on it all day with dry erase markers.
Yeah.
And whenever they get bored with the picture, they
That's a
can
great
just
idea.
wipe it off and
That's a
you
great
got a
idea.
kid, you got to give them your cell phone or they're not happy. Well, now you can give them your comic
Yeah.
Yeah.
and make them happy.
That would terrify me.
Yeah.
It would terrify me around my comics. So.
You do that on the TV. You just put saran wrap over the TV and then you could draw on people
No, I
on
never
TV.
did. I did use a magnet on it once in a while. So
You know,
this
the
is
11 by 17 is only $20.
Yeah.
You know, over double the size for a better value.
this and these are very comparable prices. Whatever you're going to find. If you go online, you try to find anything for comic books, you're going to pay $15 for a frame. The only other frames you're going to find out there are pretty much wooden frames that are cut and they're painted with like the cheap acrylic paints.
Yeah.
Or
The-
those really awesome metal frames that slash your hands up every time you take them off
Oh
the wall.
yeah. And the 11 by 17s, you're pretty much going to pay the same amount anywhere else for that, if not a lot more. Go
You
to
look at-
Amazon.
If you go to a framing store in we're from Las Vegas. Go to a framing store in Las Vegas. If you want to find a frame that looks nice for
Yeah.
11 by 17, you're paying $40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is thin.
Minimum.
It's a heck of a lot lighter. It stacks. So when you're shipping this, when you're moving from LA to Los Angeles because you're just sick and tired of
LA
the
to
smell.
Los
to Los
Angeles,
Angeles.
Will.
Oh wait, we're in both places. Is there? There's got to be a loophole there
So
somewhere.
when we came here today from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, we have a booth full of these on the wall. If they were in frames, they would have filled the entire backseat of the car.
Yeah.
But because they were in frameless, they were in one box. That
half
was
a box,
foot
actually.
Half
by
a
a
box.
foot.
They were
Everything
Yeah, and they
was
barely
stacked
filled
together.
up the box because there was so much room because there wasn't frames like
Yeah.
you know bulk.
And
being
if you want
bulky
to,
in the
and
way.
if you want to, with something like this, if you got a comic and you want to open it up, or you have a double wide, you can do that, because the comic will actually fit. Or if you want to fit 2 comics, you have some comics in here and kind of give
yeah,
it that.
you can get creative with it. If you
Yeah.
want to put 3 comics in 11 by 17 just to show off your art that way, you can do that. If you want to open up your comic and display it, you know, on a particular page that you like, you can do that in the 11 by 17. You know, put some awesome like scrapbooking paper behind it and give it a unique spin on things. You know, you can make art with your
Got a
art.
Hellcat
Girls
comic.
like to scrapbook, so
Yeah.
girls
It's
get
not
the
just
11
girls.
by 17.
So you got the Hellcat, and you could actually do that. You could do that. You could have, and actually, what I would probably do with something like this is I would have an art print behind it, and then I have the comic book in front of it. That way you kind of have, you're collaging Marvel with Marvel. And you can totally do that in the same one. So we have the single pack. This is the $12 comic book size. We have the single pack 11 by 17. This is $20. And then from there we start to jump up to 3 packs and 5 packs. Because we know that you really don't want to just buy one comic book. You really don't want to just buy one, you know.
Unless you have Superman #1, and that's your only comic.
And
you're
that's
going to want to hang more than one.
Which I guess I can understand, because then that's all you could ever afford, because Superman #1. But if you're like me, you buy comics in sets. You have 4, you have 6, whatever. You have 25 in this run of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So you want to collage them together. You want to put them all together. That's why we have the 3 packs and the 5 packs. You can get 3 packs of the comics. If you buy a 3 pack, you'll get 5 off. Buy a 5 pack, you'll get 10 off. The same thing with the 11 by 17s. You'll get 5% off. If you buy a 3 pack, you'll get 10% off if you buy a 5 pack of that.
So let's put this in perspective. If you had 3 comic books and you wanted to frame 3 comic books, each of those comic books, a frame would cost about $25. You're looking at $75 to put 3 comic books on the wall. With Frameless, you're looking at $12 a piece, $36, literally half the cost.
I think it's 32 with the discount, with the $5 discount or the 5% discount. It become $32 to frame that. So it's half the price of what you.
It's half the price. It's less than half the weight.
It's gonna look a lot better.
It takes way less space. Like I said, when we brought the Frameless in today, if those were in frames, I probably would have carried 60 pounds of material in today. And today, I carried in one box that probably didn't even weigh 5 pounds.
Because you can switch them out so quickly. If it's Halloween and you want to have your Nightmare Before Christmas collection, you can do that. Thanksgiving comes around and you just want to swap out for Thanksgiving collection. Do they make comics for that?
Thanksgiving
Probably.
collection.
Oh no, you want to swap out for the next Harry Potter movie, which I'm sure there will be more, which always come out around Thanksgiving. And then you want to swap out for the next Star Wars, which is going to be around Christmas time. And immediately after, Avatar 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Do you have that super awesome, like some super awesome Conan the Barbarian poster that you love, but your grandmother hates and thinks is lewd? You can take it off the wall
OJ
and
Comics.
put something else up.
There's prized OJ comics that you know you want to show on the wall. You want to do this. And look at that. You can flip them over. So you can take it out, flip it over, switch it around.
I mean, I remember this, and I remember how excited I was for every minute of this trial. And when the OJ comic books came out,
I was watching it on TV when the Bronco was driving. I wanted to know what was going to happen.
These are my comics, and he put them here for me, and I have these because this is my favorite drama in the history of man. And because of Frameless, now I have the ability to put all of the OJ comics on my wall.
He's
for
actually
everyone to
only
see.
been following this by comics, so please don't spoil how it ends.
The ship sinks.
Yes.
The ship sinks.
Ooh. Now, for a lot of you, you're going to want to get a comic book, and you're going to want to get an 11 by 17, because you're going to say, look, I know, I get it. I see that you have 3 packs and 5 packs. That's great, but what if I want one of each? Well, we can do that. We have the 1-in-1, and you're going to get one of each, and we're going to ship those out to you. If you want to get 2 of each, you're going to get 5% off. We're going to ship both those out to you too. They're going to ship a nice little tube. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I know that not everybody just has one art print that they have that they want to put on the wall, or one comic. They have boxes full. They have stacks of art that they have been collecting that's collecting dust in their closet, and they want to be able to put it on the wall and display.
You want to tell
and
your friends.
brag to your friends about all this awesome stuff that you've got at cons. And the only way you can do that is by getting Frameless. And the only way you're going to get Frameless is if we can, reach our goal in the Kickstarter and be able to mass produce these for you guys.
If you're just joining in right now, this is the Frameless Kickstarter that we're doing. And we're showing you how to take your prize O.J. Simpson story comics out of the box that nobody knows you have and put them in a Frameless kit and put that on the wall. And then everybody will know where you stand.
If you're interested in putting your OJ story comics on the wall, then click the link below and get Frameless.
And honestly, if you're not interested in putting your prize OJ comics on the wall,
my mom actually might
click
want
the link.
those.
I don't know anybody that
your
wouldn't.
mom might want those.
My mom, I'm going to have to get this for
Who
my
wouldn't
mother.
put them?
And then she could put them in a Frameless and put them on the wall,
Yeah.
right next to Elvis.
Elvis.
So we have the 1-in-1, we have the 2-in-2, and those are going to come with 1 each or 2 each. Just cross your eyes, and then you'll see 2 each. I'm doing it right now. I see 2. But then after that, we have the variety packs. And the variety packs are kind of where
It's where the real savings starts coming in.
Yeah, because the variety packs allow you to get whatever you want. Basically, you go on there, you get the variety pack, and then when the Kickstarter is done, you get to pick what you want. And this is where it's really important. We have a ton of stretch goals. We're not going to tell you all the stretch goals because we want to kind of save them. They're a little, kind of secret. But we have more sizes for comic books. We have more sizes for art prints. Things maybe like, I don't know, 8 by 10, maybe
a 24 by 36
stills?
movie poster.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe a 13 by 19. We don't know. What we are telling you, though, is we have a lot of these sizes because I have a lot of these sizes, and I already prototyped and made these sizes because I wanted them done. And the most popular sizes were the comic and 11 by 17, but these are all available. We already have these done. We have other things for you. We have the bracket pieces. We have what we call the pick stand, and it's a stand that goes in the back of this and allows you to take it off the wall and set it on your mantle or your dresser.
Oh, that's a stretch goal.
That's
It's
a
a
stretch
stretch goal.
goal. And if you want to get there, we got to get our main goal first.
And here's why the variety packs are so cool, because when you do the variety pack, you can get whatever you want. If you want 18 comic book sizes and one 11 by 17, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to get, if you live in a dorm and you only have room for 5 11 by 17s, but you've got 30 under your bed, you can get 5 complete kits of the 11 by 17s and then another 25 sleeves.
Yeah, and then
And
you can
just store
switch
it in
them
the
out as
sleeves.
you want, and you can store them in the sleeves.
Yeah.
They take up
No
very
room.
little room.
Look how thin this is.
Slightly more
Takes
room.
up no room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's fantastic about this is, say you've got those 30 prints that you want to put on your wall. Well, then you'd have to order 30 frames, and you'd have to pay for shipping on 30 frames.
Or find time to go to the
Every
store.
step of development, we have done everything we can to keep the size and the weight and the cost of shipping down. These all ship to you in tubes. They ship very inexpensively, so you don't have to pay much more
Yeah.
to get the shipping.
You're basically looking at 2 pounds for a comic for something that would fit a comic book in a frame to 2 ounces that would fit a comic book on here.
It
Yeah,
makes
just
noise.
like the chunk of it hitting the
I'm
table.
trying to make noise with this, and
Like,
it's really not
you
sounding
can't,
that great.
You know.
The variety packs start at $100,
Doesn't make
and
noise.
they give starting at $100 you get 10% off. As you go up from there, you get more off. So at $200 you're gonna get 20% off, and they go to $500 from there, you're gonna get 20% off. After that, they keep going up from there. $750, $1,000, $1,500, $2,500. You're gonna start getting more and more discounts. We have a $10,000 level that'll get you 40% off all the kits, every single thing.
Yeah.
Okay, if you pledge now for, let's just say you pledge for a 3-pack or a 5-pack, and you decide that you want to up your pledge later on when all these stretch goals are unlocked, you can absolutely do that. Frameless lets you, Kickstarter lets you do that. If let's just say at some point in time you're like, oh man, I really wish I would have gotten this, well, there's going to be additional ways that we can get you that stuff too. Kickstarter is the route to go right now for that. Variety packs are perfect for con exhibitors too, because if you go to multiple conventions every single year,
In fact, when we debuted at Wizard World in
Yeah,
Las Vegas,
that's right.
and all of the artists we talked to talked about using Frameless to showcase their art at the show. They said if I had just that, I could put that up there, protect my prints, because their prints get damaged. They're just hanging on cloth.
They're
moving
taping it
around.
up on
Yeah,
the
they're
wall.
using tape or,
and
staples
it looks
or
really
whatever.
tacky. It looks horrible. But to be
Yeah.
able to take artwork and to be able to have this right here, and then all of the art prints that are Wolverine art prints collaged around it. So now the exhibitor's got a Wolverine section, they've got a Spider-Man section, they've got a Deadpool section. They can do that if they want. They have the complete freedom because they're the artists. They want to do
Right.
that. And right now they're basically they're forced to just tape their stuff up there.
And then you have the same options. When you buy that print at the convention, you go home, how do you put it on your wall? You're going to tape it to the wall, you're going to stick tacks through it and punctuate, or you're going to go buy an expensive, heavy frame.
Yeah, don't disrespect the artwork by putting tape on it that's going to damage
Yeah.
it. And how are you going to buy another one? What if it was just one run of a limited print
And
that you
don't-
just destroyed?
Right, and
respect
don't
the
disrespect
artwork.
it by covering up the edges of the artwork with a mat, obscuring a half-inch on all sides with a mat that you need to fit a frame, because who builds 11 by 17 frames? I can't find them at the frame stores
They're
in Las
hard to find.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Actually, though, there was a guy who that we met at Wizard World who does 13 by 19. It's an awkward size. That's what his size is. And every time he sells this, he asks them how are they gonna frame it? How are they gonna put it on the wall? And if they tell him tacks or tape or putty, he basically pulls it back and says, I will not sell this to you if you're going to do that to my artwork. This is to be put on the wall respectfully, properly, frame it, do something nice. When we went over there and we were meeting with him and we showed him this, he told me, he's like, right away, do you do 13 by 19? And I was like, well, I'll make it a stretch goal if that's important to you.
Yeah.
He goes, let me tell you, I sold $22,000 of prints last Christmas, and I would buy these by the thousand because I would use this and I would sell these with this and say, put it in this. This is the best way to show off my artwork.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just about art, about autographs. Some of the autographs at those cons are can be like over $150, especially if you're trying to be
like the autograph on this comic book
Yeah.
that we got from Jason Mewes at Wizard World Las Vegas.
This comic book was purchased from Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash on the East Coast, and then it was signed by Jason Mewes at Wizard World, and now it's being at Meltdown Comics in LA, which is the largest shop in the West Coast.
This comic book has had more comic action than any of us.
I agree with you on that.
But the goal here is to keep the value of what your autographs, that you've spent so much money on, so they don't get damaged. You keep that value with Frameless.
Yeah. So
it is a non-destructive method of showcasing your art, comics, autographs, photos, anything.
Yeah, and again, you've got this is the Frameless kit. It's an 8-piece kit. You get the wall mount that comes with this universal wall mount. Everything will switch out with the wall mount from one size to another. You have the 2 center spine locks. These are the vertical spines. These are the the horizontal spines, the vertical spines.
Well, the horizontal and vertical is really subjective because you can hang this in any orientation
There's also
you
that,
want.
and there's that band vertical horizon too.
Yeah, I mean the wall mount slides into any one of those pieces.
Yeah, this is made to be universal.
It just depends on how you want to display your art on the wall and make art with it.
So if you want a landscape, if you want a portrait, if you want to turn your wall mount sideways, we have an awesome picture on the Frameless Kickstarter you can see that actually has comic books at heart-shaped angles for Valentine's Day.
And 45-degree angles. And then the final piece is this archival quality plastic it is never going to interact with your paper or your ink. It's never going to degrade the image of your comics, which most other comic storage and protection plastics, they don't talk about that. If it doesn't say archival quality, they're not guaranteeing that the plastic itself won't degrade the image.
Yeah, I don't want to disclose all the nifty stuff with the technology of the plastic, but just suffice to say is all the top loaders you're buying out there are vinyl, and vinyl is, as it comes, not archival safe. And the vast majority of artists are very, very leery of anybody walking out of there with their stuff in a vinyl top loader, which they look junky. They're blue tinted.
Yeah, so it's not even like you're able to see what the image actually looks like naturally.
Yeah.
We tested so many different plastics for the sleeve. Some of them had different colored tints. Some of them were kind of oily. Some of them just broke in your hand. They were so brittle.
Yeah.
But they had the optical clarity that we wanted to have. This is the only plastic we found that works as well as it does. And no one else in the world is using this plastic for this application.
Yeah, this plastic is actually universally used for packaging of products. So if you buy like a pack of ping pong balls or stuff like that, it comes in this plastic. And what's important about that is the plastic is made at a higher temperature to be able to melt down around the product.
Yeah.
But for shipping and sitting in a truck at 150 degrees, driving to Las Vegas, it's not going to warp. It's not going to change its shape.
I mean, this plastic was developed during the space race to be used while shipping stuff in and out of orbit so that it could support objects in transit without deforming because of heat or cold.
So you're probably asking me, I'm sure you're somewhere in Australia and you're sitting there and you're saying, look, I want Frameless, but shipping to Australia, nobody does that because it's Australia and we're on an island, which is a continent, which is also a country. And you're just...
It is all of those things.
It's all of those things.
and getting it here is just not going to happen. And I'm going to tell you that that's actually not the case because we're shipping all around the world.
We know you have giant spiders in Australia, and that gets you down. And we're going to get you Frameless.
We have a guy in the UK who the UK has a different system of measurements for their posters. They go by centimeters, but it's not just that it's centimeters and not inches. These centimeters are different centimeters when you do all the math to the inches. And he's like, no, I want Frameless for my
They're
comic
different
books.
ratios.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But no, he was telling me, he's like, I want Frameless for my comic books. And I want to put this over my desk. Will you ship to the UK? And I'm like, absolutely, I will. And then someone else goes, will you ship to New Zealand? And I'm like, sure will. And then another person who messaged me and said, yeah, I've got a ton of 18 by 24s. Will you make those? And I said, well, they're not going to come standard, but it may be a stretch goal. And the Variety Pack will allow you to get those stretch goals. And we have prototyped it. because I have 18 by 24s.
I just realized if you live somewhere in the sticks, like, because apparently Australia is the sticks now, and you've got a lot of bugs, you don't have to worry about a wooden frame. Termites are never going to eat this frame.
I never thought of that.
Spiders can't crawl in here. They can't fit in, so you're not going to get web inside your frame, which I've actually had on some of the old paintings that I got from my grandmother. There's these little cobwebs in there because spiders love getting into
everybody around here is suddenly nodding.
Everybody in the studio is like, man, I
got those spider webs in my frames.
Ain't no spiders up in Frameless.
I never thought of termites in the frame. And you know what's funny is I'm from Cleveland, and there's termites there. Now, mind you, I've lived in Las Vegas since '88, and we don't have termites in Las Vegas, really.
We do. We do have termites.
Termites need a little bit of water. We don't have a lot of water. We're getting more, though.
We are getting more. They're starting to show up. So even we in Vegas are not going to be safe from termites burrowing into our frames, which is important for this. And no bed bugs hide. Could bed bugs get in there?
I don't think a bed bug could get in here.
I don't think a bed bug would want to get in there.
I think a skin mite could get in here. There's enough room for that, but why would it want to?
And also, it would probably slip right off. This is pretty smooth. I mean,
it's very smooth.
I mean, this is so smooth that you can put dry erase markers on here and wipe it off with your finger.
We left dry erase marker on there for a week and wiped it right off. Yeah. And if you do that on a whiteboard, it leaves a little bit of a stain behind on the whiteboard. Didn't leave any stain on here. Didn't have to use goof off. Didn't have to use glass cleaner. It just wiped right off.
And that's because whiteboards aren't a bunch of plastic on there. It is a finish over what is it, like a wood, like a compressed
something like
wood.
that. It's a non-permeable. It's a permeable substance. It's porous. This is non-permeable and non-porous.
These frameless kits are designed specifically for your comics, specifically for your art. Nothing else out there is designed specifically for it. Even if you go and you buy a frame that is designed for comic books, it's going to have a little bit of space. It's going to have a little bit of give on the outside because they're going to give that little bit of tolerance. These were measured exactly for it. Okay, this is, what is it? It is 10 1/4 inches high by 6 11/16 of an inch wide, with an extra 32nd of an inch tolerance on each side. And I know you're probably going, why are you telling me all the math? And I'm telling you the math because this is, when you fold this over, when you put the flaps over here, it fits perfectly.
It's foolproof comic protection for new age comic books.
So we're gonna really quickly, we're gonna go over a few of the rewards again. You can get the 1-in-1, one comic book, one 11 by 17. You can get 2 and 2. You'll get 5% off of that, 2 of each. We have these in 1, 3, and 5 packs starting at $12 and then $20 for this. We have the variety pack starting at $100. Actually, I think a lot of the people I think most people that have pledged so far have pledged the variety packs.
Yeah, because it's a good value, because the more that you buy, the less expensive it is.
Well, and the fantastic part about the variety packs is, we only have these 2 things to offer right now, but as our Kickstarter continues on, we're going to unlock more and more products, different sizes, different brackets, and at the end of that, you get to work through a company called BackerKit. And you get to choose what you want with your variety pack. Instead of getting stuck with one of everything that we created, you get to apply the value of your investment towards the products you want and can apply to your collection.
And you'll be able to select exactly the amount of sizes you want at each thing.
Yeah, and we picked these sizes because most of the stuff you're going to get at Comic-Cons are comic size or 11 by 17. These fit modern age comic books. We have prototypes for Golden and Silver Age because I know just how hard they are to find, and I've listened to you guys, and we have prototypes for those as well because we want you to frame those, frameless those too.
And Will has done extensive market research online and with lots of companies and agencies. We've walked through various comic book conventions, every comic book convention we could get to that was within 300 miles of Las Vegas last year. We went to, and we talked to everybody, and overwhelmingly, the sizes everyone wanted right away was the New Age comic and 11 by 17. And that's why we're going with those right now. But we want to get more sizes unlocked. We want to get everybody everything they want.
And the only way we could do that is if you share the Kickstarter with your friends and family. Share the Facebook page, tweet it to people, just share it. That's the biggest thing with making a Kickstarter successful is word of mouth, and donating. If you like the product, donate, and then we can get to our goal, because without making the money, we can't make it.
And getting on this now, too. don't wait to get on this, because if we, again, as she said, if we don't get funded now, this will not happen for you guys right now. This will happen down the road sometime later on, because I own the patent for it, I own the trademark, and I'm going to make this happen.
We're going to make this happen.
But it won't happen for you now. We definitely won't get this before Christmas.
Yeah, the goal right now, and the reason why we're doing this Kickstarter right now, is so that we can, you know, hit our goal and then be able to manufacture this stuff and get it to you in time for gifts for the holidays.
And if you're really interested in getting this product, if you're really interested in having this for yourself, then you need to help us.
Yeah.
Promote us. Use hashtag Frameless in all of your social media.
Frameless.
Yeah.
Like us, post us.
This is gonna make this is an awesome gift because no one's seen this before. And you're going to have someone who's never even heard of Frameless, and then you're going to give it something like, what is this? Like, oh, I got this for you. If you pledge today, first off, if you come on down and you pledge today, we're going to buy you a free comic book to go along with when your Frameless kit shows up.
First 100 people.
First 100
Meltdown Comics, and show us that you've pledged, we're going to buy you a comic.
Yeah. And if you pledge today while we're here at Meltdown Comics until 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every single person who pledges today is going to get an exclusive commission print that we're having very specific for today. And it's gonna focus on Meltdown, it's gonna focus on XSN, the XSN network, and it's gonna basically show everybody that you were exclusive first day backer of Frameless. You will not, no one else will be able to get this. No one else will.
Just first day backers.
First day backer.
I will
sign them personally myself. They will be available for both the 11x17 and the comic book, and won't be available anywhere else.
And it's also really important to note that if you sell comic books, if you like this and you're like, man, I would like that in my store, we like you. We're not trying. We want to work with every comic book store in the nation. We want to promote you. We want you to promote us. We want to get people coming into your store, buying your comics. A lot of times, parents don't buy comics because they're afraid their kids are going to destroy them, especially if it's a really pivotal run like House of M or Civil War. The kids are going to read it once and then they're just going to shove it in the corner or throw it on the floor or whatever, and the parents know that those things are going to be worth money someday, and they're going to wish they'd taken good care of them.
I've got a ton of Star Wars Dark Horse comics. I've got some of the ones that are like, you know, with the foil wizard logos on them from way back in the day. And I mean, and a lot of us nowadays, you know, we have kids that are at the age where we want them to start reading our comics, but you know. Yeah,
and great comics are still coming out that people want to display. I mean, just like this Jay and Silent Bob comic we have here.
Yeah. I mean, or
Sailor Moon.
The new Sailor Moon cartoon is on, so the comics must follow soon, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I would assume so. I would hope so.
Well, girls like comics too.
Yes, girls like comics too.
I mean, you know, I think what 50% of people who
it's about 50-50.
It's about 50-50, and now there's a serious shift in comics towards the female audience, which is really cool.
Yeah, we got a new Spider-Man here. We got a new Darth Vader. You know, these are comics. You could come down today and you could pick this up right now, and we would give this to you if you supported our Kickstarter campaign. And you do it. Tell your friends. Spread the word about it. Get it out there. Everybody so far is loving it. We're working with comic shops. We're working with the artists. If you love awesome art, just know that we're working with them hand in hand. We have a lot of artists that are very familiar with who we are, especially in the Southwest region. We have comic shops all across Las Vegas that know who we are. We are the Frameless people. When we were at Wizard World, we were walking around and everyone got to know us by the end of the con because we were the Frameless people, and we were very respectful of them and who they are and what they were trying to show off.
And one of the fun parts about Wizard World Con for us was on the first day, we went around and we talked to the different artists and we asked if any of them would mind if we displayed their art for them. We just borrowed some prints, and then the next day, our entire booth was decked out in nothing but art from artists that were at that convention. And we had their business cards and we were referring the people to the booths to buy the prints from the artists.
Yeah, it's all about cross-marketing. We want to support local artists.
Yeah.
And, you know,
she just changed the comic book, as Richard was telling that story. She just changed it out to another one in less than a minute. Less than a minute. You can't.
Now Darth Vader is protected.
And because of the way it snaps into place,
the force of this archival quality plastic will keep harm from coming to Lord Vader.
This would have come off the wall. This would have been on the wall. She would have taken it right off. She would have replaced it and then put it right back on.
Now,
and it would have fit right there and been just as level when she put it back on the second time.
Now let's say you have 200 comic books, but only one spot on the wall to put that comic book, and you want to put a different comic book every single day on the wall. You can do that. You can buy 200 sleeves and one spine kit, one wall mount.
If you do the variety pack.
If you do the variety pack. And then you could store all 200 of your comics in a box this big Just a normal comic box, and you could take it out every day, put the spines in, put it up on the wall.
Yeah, it's the same size comic box you already have. Matter of fact, this right here, with the comic in it, will fit inside the sleeve.
Yeah.
If you use the plastic sleeves, a bag and board,
fit right in there.
fits right in.
I mean, look how thin that is.
Yep.
You know, a 16th of an inch. That's what, 16 and an inch right there?
A 16th of an inch?
Yeah,
There's 16 in 1 inch.
Yeah.
There are 16 16ths.
Click the
in
link
an inch.
below, support the Kickstarter campaign, spread the word, tell your friends, tag your friends. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, facebook.com/frameless. I just framelessed it on the wall.
Past tense of
Yes,
frameless.
frameless ED. So frameless.com, facebook.com/frameless. For Twitter, it's frameless. For Instagram, it's frameless.
Join the frameless movement. Stop being a slave to traditional framing.
And join the frameless movement. Make it happen. Thank you very much. We'll be seeing you guys again soon. Are we play a game? Let's play the Kickstarter video? Let's play the Kickstarter video, guys.
I'd like to see the Kickstarter
I
video.
want to see it again. I never get enough of that kooky couple.
Derpy guy and that wonderful
Ruining
video.
your
No, well,
favorite
you're the
art,
genius.
posters, or comics with tacks, putty, or tape? Not happy with your old worn-out frames? Now there's a new way. Frameless. Frameless gives you the freedom to show off your art naturally, without borders, exactly how it was created. From comics to prints, small and full-size posters, the Frameless Universal Mounting System allows you to swap between any size frameless with no additional mounting. You can even switch out your artwork to show off your favorite toys, collectibles, and vinyl figurines. Installing Frameless is fast and easy with the detachable level. The angled nail slots keep Frameless snug against the wall, no matter the kit size. Frameless's patented bracket system gives you the freedom to space your art up to 8 levels of depth away from the wall. The Frameless stand lets you take your favorite comics and small prints off the wall and display them on any flat surface. Have you ever wanted to collage your pictures? The unique design of Frameless lets you overlap your images, allowing you to fit even more in the same space with a whole new level of showcasing your collection. If you ever want to change your display, swapping images from a frame can be time-consuming. Frameless comes apart in seconds, and the artwork can be replaced just as quickly. Frameless also protects your images, both on the wall and in storage. And our patented frameless sleeves easily fit inside standard comic bags with boards. Unlike traditional frames, which can be broken during storage and shipping, Frameless can be shipped and stored safely, and your prized artwork will stay in mint condition, both on your wall and in your closet. Have a custom calendar or goal sheet? Dry erase markers work perfectly with Frameless. Take your favorite memories and display them with Frameless. You can even customize your own photos to tell that special someone how much you love them. Frameless assembles in 4 easy steps. Fold it, fit it, snap it, hang it. You can't find Frameless in any store, retail outlet, or online. Yet. The Frameless Kickstarter will unveil this spring. If you're tired of boxing in your artwork and displaying memories with boundaries, pre-order your kit and make them frameless.
Hey guys, I'm really excited to share Frameless with you. It's something I've always wanted for my art and comics, and I want all of you to be able to have it as well. So share the video, invite your friends to our page, and spread the word about Frameless. Go to our Kickstarter and pre-order your kit now.